welcome to this edition of The Flow. I'm Doc.
And I'm Katie, and we're here in real life.
Look, the internet is causing problems. No, I'm joking. I mean, let me not curse this.
We are just coming off our 5th year of our virtual event, Leap Into Live. This year, we were leaping into tools and tactics, and we thought we would do a pop-up recorded episode of The Flow to just share some of our takeaways from this event. Even though we're on hiatus, we were like, we'll just pop up.
Well, the first thing, the event went off without a hitch. Again, thank you to Speedify. We always talk about them. We mention them all the time on the show. But like, I am legit getting the notifications that if it wasn't for Speedify, the stream would die. And so what I did was I had hardwired internet from Comcast/Xfinity here directly to this machine.
Yep.
But I was also connecting Speedify to a portable Wi-Fi, NTOS MiFi is what they call it. And basically, it was keeping those two together, bonding the streams. It was flawless. So how cool was it to have Alex as the last section to basically have him explain how it works? And I'm able to show a screenshot basically of how Speedify was saving our bacon the entire week.
It was something like 297 294 stream emergencies solved, like without us even noticing. It was just like solving.
You have been streamergency. So yeah, thanks to them for that. But you know, Case, what I wanted to talk about was like some key takeaways from that event, because I learned a lot. Normally you're so busy producing, you're not really paying attention to the sessions, but this time the sessions were great. And I actually picked up some things that I want to put into practice. So I wanted to talk about like, how does one take what they learned and put it into practice?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think my biggest takeaway from this particular event was that it's the same, and I mean this in like a positive way, so go with me for a second here. It's the same basic foundation in every single one of these sessions, all the way back 5 years to today. And the principle is this: you need to take a minute and figure out where you're at. It could be that you're just starting out or that you've been doing this for a really long time. Take a moment, audit where you're at. And by audit, I don't mean you need to do like a crazy, super over the top deep dive, but just reflect for a moment where you're at, and then reflect for another moment what your goals are, where you want to be, what you want to do, etc. Put together a plan. Don't pull a Katie and overthink it. Like, just, it can be like it can be something very, very simple, but put together a plan and then go and get a little bit better every single time. And that applies whether you're trying to automate and streamline and make things simpler. That applies whether you're starting a brand new show or a podcast. It's the same thing if you're trying to, promote your show more or get, deeper dive, update your studio. All of it just requires you to stop for a moment, think about where you're at, think about where you want to go, jot some notes on how to get there and what is the easiest, lowest lift way to get there.
Yes.
And many of it is tools. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's adding staff, sometimes it's, diving.
Sometimes it's minifying.
That literally went through every single session, and I don't know why it took me 5 years of doing this event for it to like unlock, but it's the same in every single session. And I feel like sometimes, and I'm guilty of this as well, we overthink it, we panic, we see someone else that's, again, like way beyond where we are. Like, and I don't mean beyond in skill. I just mean like they've been doing it for like 10 years and you're brand new and you're like, why does Luria's studio look so great and mine doesn't? And the reality is that, and Doc's been saying this for a while, but it's just 15 minutes a day of diving into a tool that you really want to learn how to use, 15 minutes a day of listening to a podcast that offers, marketing insights or something that you want to learn. It's 15 minutes a day of learning SEO, but you're not going to know what those things are until you take a deep breath, reflect on where you're at, whether that's like you want to do like a full audit and jot down notes, or you just want to think about it, figure out where you want to go, and then put the path together. But that was, in a nutshell, like 30 sessions, 3 days, incredible content. But my biggest takeaway was that I just need to pause, figure out where I'm at, figure out where I want to go, and just take the steps towards getting there. Like it can be crippling to sort of 100%. Stop.
Well, I think of it like this. it would not be in my best interest, or maybe if you, according to the doctor, maybe it would be, but it wouldn't be in my best interest to go binge like 7-8 days worth of vegan cooking content, because I'm a cheese, egg, steak, and Welch's grape type of dude, right? I like meat. So binging all of that won't do anything for my particular process. Whereas someone like Kathy, who is a vegan, no oil, no salt, gluten-free. I forget, she has a fancy word for it, but she's all of that. And that stuff is totally makes sense for her. So although I love Kathy to death, I can't copy her format, or I can't steal her format or whatever. But I can learn some things. And that's the other thing I would like to help you with, is learn how to hear what you hear, but extrapolate that to fit you, right? So it doesn't make sense for you to see how I build my studio when I have a massively large 9x9. It's really small. It just doesn't look small because I cheated. I did some things to make it look bigger. But you trying to figure out how to build your studio when you have a larger space or a smaller space, it doesn't make sense to pay attention to exactly how I did my 9x9. Right. Yeah. I also have a wall behind my camera, so I can use a 24-inch, parabolic dome, because it's not sitting in the middle of the living room or something of that nature. Whereas you might have to go flat. So you have to learn how to take those informations and formulate it to fit you. So, for instance, if I watch somebody that make this recipe and it looks super delicious, the first thing I'm thinking, how can I make it spicy? Because that's just me. I'm like, could I add some Thai bird chilies to that? How can I kick it, as Emerald would say, kick it up a notch? So yes, like Katie said, take your audit, take your inventory, don't overthink it, and then immediately figure, how can you extrapolate this to work for you? Because I know right now, someone's going, no, Katie and Doc, I don't have 15 minutes. Dope, make it 7.5.
Yeah, make it whatever time you. And the one thing I guess the thing I would add on to it is that we intentionally made this event kind of bigger picture, more generalized, right? So it was leaping into tools and tactics. So like there's a million tools out there. Ecamm's one of them. There's lots of other tools out there. We introduce you to a lot of them often. And I think what was really helpful for me, this event in particular, was that, okay, so for example, we've been using Descript and Captivate, right? Those are two tools that we use to produce this show. I'm going to continue using those tools. Those tools make sense for me. I've built them now into a routine. But we got introduced recently to another tool, Cast Magic.
Correct.
And there's also Scenery, and there's also Opus, right? And these tools all do, like Descript does some of the same things that Opus does some of the same things that Scenery does. They're all kind of similar tools. So instead of saying, it's a lot of tools, it's too many tools, I can't use all those tools, I can, and we can, and as a business, we can afford to have subscriptions for all of those different tools. So in my mind, I was like, okay, how do I add these tools into my workflow in a way that's going to save me time, right? So for me, it's at the end of every single one of our episodes, we're still going to send that over into Descript because we're using that to grab our transcript, et cetera, right? But I'm thinking, we want to turn this show into a course that's helpful for people, right? So I can send all of our video content into Cast Magic, which I know is incredible at pulling transcripts, but using AI tools to make that into a course, a PDF, a book, an email sequence. So I can send all of that over into Cast Magic. Now that's a great new step. So now maybe every year that we do this show, we have a yearly course that I'm running.
It's like
Magic.
Upgrading your car, right?
Exactly.
In the beginning, right, the little small Subaru that's good on gas was perfect, but 2 kids and soccer practice and horse riding and a husband that likes to buy tools later, that car's too small.
Yeah.
Right? So you need something different. And you know what you just made me think of? If you notice, if you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whoever you have, you always see the Bosch Ryobi Milwaukee come with the 2 drills, right? And a lot of people who don't use drills would go, why do you need 2? Because I have this one. What's the other one for? One of them is known as a hammer drill. And what a hammer drill does is it taps while it spins. So instead of just spinning, it's making little taps in. Anybody that's ever tried to put a screw into a concrete wall, you understand what the hammer drill is for, right? And so you can do it with a regular drill, but you're pressing and pressing, and it takes you like an hour and a half to get a hole in the wall, whereas a hammer drill will do that in 3 seconds. That's why you need the right tool for the right job. So you do have to remember there are differences in these tools, and these differences have a purpose. Yeah. It isn't just oh, here's a whole bunch of the exact same tool.
Yeah.
So be very careful about the comparisons as well.
It's also, I think, again, it was like a lightning moment for me because I think I had been thinking about it as, okay, there's all these different tools. A lot of them, overlap and they have similar feature sets, et cetera. So I'm like, okay, I need to know everything about how Descript works. And then, Cast Magic. So now I need to learn everything about Cast Magic, and I might like that better, and then I'll get rid of Descript. Or I might like that, I might like Opus better, and then I'm going to get rid of Scenery. Instead, again, back to the initial kind of takeaway, I need to stop for a second and say, okay, what challenges am I actually trying to solve with these tools? So I just heard about Cast Magic. What excited me about that? Does what excites me about that tool replace what's already working in Descript? In this case, no, it's additive. It's doing something different. So I actually don't need to understand how all of Descript works because the feature within it that it's solving works for my workflow and is saving me time. And the feature that I want to use Cast Magic for works for my workflow and is saving me time and making things easier and making the content better. Same for Opus, same for all these different tools. So instead, I'm cool with having a bunch of those tools, and they're all different steps in my workflow that get me to the end point of what I'm trying to accomplish. And I think even though that's really logical now, it took me a long time to get there. And again, that it's going to be different for everyone. So, and there are different factors that go into it. But I would say, don't see the cooler new tool on the block and say, I don't need any of these tools right now. I need to run over and buy this one. And don't ignore the new cooler tool on the block because you've already invested in the one tool. Instead, go back to what you're currently accomplishing, what you want to accomplish, and say which tools, and it may be multiple of them, fit into your budget, save you time and money, and help you get to your goal. And can you use them collaboratively? Do you need to upgrade from one to the next?
To the other, yeah.
Do you what might be missing that you need to do research on to be able to get there? So that, I think, was the big thing for me from a tools and tactics standpoint, was really thinking logically about, okay, what am I trying to do? And what are the tools that get me there? And even if a tool, again, like Scenery or Cast Magic, both those tools and Descript all pull transcripts, right? They all do the foundational work. But for me, Descript does the transcript the best and the easiest for me to be able to edit it, to get it up into chapters, to do all the things that I'm doing with it. But Cast Magic does a whole bunch of AI stuff that Descript doesn't do. So I need both.
You need both.
But that may not be the case for you.
I just thought of something that might save time, and we have to try to see if this works. It makes sense in my head. You could just take the transcript from Descript that's already been done and just paste it in the Cast Magic.
Totally could, yeah.
And then it's going to do all the things, but you know what it won't do? It won't count against your time of processing an audio file because it's already processed. Right? So you can, you have double, then you can sort of save on some of your time limits. So again, the other thing that a carpenter does really well is how to mix the various tools, because a saw alone is not going to do much. You still need to hammer with the nails, and you can't hammer nails with a saw because you'll lose a finger. Yeah. So you mix these tools together, build yourself a wonderful house.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I like that. I like that idea. I like that takeaway. And, again, don't be afraid to try. Remember to talk to your community.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask.
Just posit the question. I was just thinking, I posted in the Facebook earlier, I'm still curious watching everybody fight about the new Facebook changes. Why are they fighting Facebook? Why not just ask your community, hey guys, are you cool with moving to Vimeo or YouTube?
Or Discord.
That's a lighter lift. Yeah. It's a lighter lift to ask everybody, how do you guys feel about moving to YouTube? Most people would be like, I don't care. As long as you keep feeding me the fire, I'll take it any which way, shape, or form, right? When McDonald's switched from styrofoam containers to paper, nobody stopped eating McDonald's. And like I told Katie, when NBC moved Law & Order from Monday to Thursday, I didn't stop watching Law & Order. As a matter of fact, that opened up the schedule so I could see more Law & Order. Yeah. So maybe just talk to your community and see how they feel versus fighting the change, because the change happened and you can't do much about it. And so there are definitely ways to make it work for you. And that was the key for me, is listening to all of the myriad things that Jeff and Rob and Kat and Liz,
Andrew and Stephanie, oh my gosh, so many.
Even that Paul and Liz had similar thoughts about email, but different enough that I have 2 different homeworks over the next couple of weeks from both sides of that. So yes, inventory, figure out where you are, find a way to make it work into your system that's the least painful, but make sure you're challenging yourself though. Don't make it so easy that, you're just breezing. And the last one I want to say about automation, everybody's really slick and cool. Automations look cool, but will it really help you? Will it do something? Some things you may not want to automate. So figure out how you're doing it properly manually. And once you have a great workflow manually, then automate it. Yeah. Don't automate it before you know where you're going, because you'll automate wrong. And one bad switch of automation can accidentally download 500 YouTube videos somewhere you didn't want them to go. Yeah. So be very, very careful. Take your time. There's no need to rush. We're here. The community, the Discord is here. People are asking great questions. And just dive in. Yeah. Have fun.
And the last thing that we'll say before we jump off here is that, holy cow. So again, 30 speakers, 30 sessions, and I'm pretty sure in every single one of them, those speakers gave a free bonus resource, whether it was like their toolbox or their email swipe files, how they do what they do. And so what I will say is, even if you cannot afford the $45 to get the replay pass, I would say figure it out and find that $45. But if you can't find we get it. At a absolute bare minimum, ask people in the Ecamm community how they are doing what they are doing. So find people that are similar to where you want to be and ask them how they got there, because I guarantee you they will tell you, or they have a resource, or they have a toolbox, or they have something. And if you do have that $45 replay pass and guidebook, download all those freebies. Even if you can't get to them until later, you're working your way through 15 minutes a day, that's fine. But have those and save them, because again, like these people are sharing what has worked for them. And it may not be exactly what works for you, but it'll give you a framework to understand how they got from A to Z. Yep. And you can apply that framework to how you can get from A to Z, right? So I think I was literally in every single session the second that they were, and again, I set up these sessions, and I was still, the second that they said, like, here's my freebie, I was downloading it. I was downloading it, adding it into a folder, and I'm like, I'm gonna work my way through all of these freebies. You better believe I'm gonna go through Jeff C's toolkit. I'm gonna go through Liz's email swipe files, because
there's just gems in there.
There's gems in there, even if it doesn't exactly apply to what I'm doing. The understanding the framework of how successful people are doing what they're doing, I think is really, really valuable. So I will say, our replay portal includes all 5 years worth of sessions for life. Next year, you'll automatically just have it. The portal just builds and you have the portal access. So it's worth the investment, really. But if you can't get there, don't worry about it. Ask in the community, ask in the Discord space, ask in the Facebook group, find the people who are doing what you want to do and get to know them. These people are accessible. If I can get to know them, you can get to know them.
And this is funny. It's a really old statement, but the only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. Okay, maybe people don't want to eat an elephant.
Don't eat an elephant.
The only way to walk 1,000 miles is one step at a time. It's all the same thing. Yeah. And how I came up with this whole 15 minutes a day situation really was me. I opened up my contact list one day and I went to go look for somebody and I couldn't find them. And I realized I had over 8,000 contacts from just adding, new phone, stack them up. So what I did was I literally went through each alphabet and I would do like in blocks of 10 while I'm stuck in line at the bank, waiting at the doctor. Mm-hmm. Some days I would go crazy and do 50, but most times I would do them 10 at a time.
Just chip away at it.
Move it. Yep. And next thing you know, I'm in the S and I'm like, I powered through that. It takes less time than you think. And had I just looked at it, you need to fix almost 9,000 addresses at one time. Not going to do it. I'm going to just keep parlaying it. But taking them 10 at a time, it was so easy to do. And 9 times out of 10, I did far more than 10 because I had longer time to play and I could just swipe through them. So just take that a small bite approach. So much better. You can do it. Like every one of us has done it in one shape or form, from when you first learn how to walk or, to learn how to eat spicy food. It all starts with just a little bit. So dive in, take your time, enjoy life, have fun. Like if it's getting too hard, then you need to rethink it. Yeah, at camp, I taught my people in my session about the little black dress. When it's time to get dressed to go to an event, you bust out the whole closet, you go through like 9 outfits, and in the end, for the guys, it's black slacks, white shirt, and a tie. For the girls, it's a little black dress. You always go to the simplest, dopest, and you know what? When you step through, everyone's like, damn, you look really good today. And you're like, I was in my closet for hours tweaking when all you need to do is go to the most basic.
Yeah.
So let's keep it simple and smiling. I won't say the other word. Let's work from there. That's it. That's
We'll
it.
see you next
Look,
time.
the internet's starting to mess up. We better stop this thing.
We will see you next time, everyone. And thanks for being part of the Flow Riders.
There you go. Aloha.